Welcome into Seahawks Today, powered by Chat Sports. Tyler Jones here with you. Appreciate you joining us. Today's show is presented by Manscaped. You can save 20% off plus free shipping at checkout if you use the promo code Seahawks. That's manscaped.com for 20% off plus free shipping. You have questions, I have answers. It is another Rumors Mailbag edition of Seahawks Today, coming up in just a few moments from right now. But before we get to that, though, we want to make sure that you are subscribed to the channel so you can be a part of the next Mailbag show here on Seahawks Today. Our mailbags are just for subscribers only. They're on our community tab each and every week. So go ahead and subscribe now so you can be a part of our mailbag shows going forward. And speaking of subs, we're in a race to get to 30,000 subscribers, trying to beat the Dolphins channel. We're off to a good start at 27,388 subscribers, but Willie fans, more like Willie losses with where they're at numbers, 25,876 subscribers. So go ahead and subscribe now. Let's get to 30,000 subs before the Dolphins channel. All right, our first question in the inbox this week comes from Jacob. Jacob wants to know, does Seattle end up with a top 5 pick, assuming we don't get Jimmy G? Also, what are the odds we trade to the number 1 or number 2 pick if we don't have them already? So, a two-part question there. Top 5 pick, well, based on the roster numbers that everyone's throwing out there, if you look at the roster ratings, it doesn't matter what outlet, ESPN, Bleacher, even the guys at The Unathletic and others, I mean, they're all saying the same thing, that this is about a 28th, 29th, 30th best roster in the league. Not the worst, but one of probably the bottom 5 rosters. And so I would think there's a good chance the Seahawks, just based on their roster, end up with one of those top 5 picks in the draft. As far as trading up to number 1 or number 2 goes, I think that comes down to if the Seahawks see a quarterback that they like that would not be available when they would pick. That's the only way I think you justify trading up, is if there's a quarterback that you see there that you're not going to have the opportunity to get otherwise, that's a franchise-changing quarterback that you believe is that guy. So to me, that's what I'm looking for, is if there's a quarterback they like there. Speaking of quarterbacks, that takes us to our next question in the mailbag from Dat Fat Rat wants to know, should the Seahawks still take a quarterback in next year's class, even if Drew Lock is a good quarterback for Seattle? What would you define as good? I mean, if he has a Pro Bowl season, which no one expects, but if he pulls that type of year off, then maybe you wait. Maybe you hold on and give Drew Lock another year. But, I mean, let's be honest here. No one is expecting Drew Lock to do anything earth-shattering in 2022. I would fully expect the Seahawks to draft a quarterback in the first round of next year's draft, that they would look to those options there of possible quarterbacks for this team to take advantage of when it comes to next year's draft. And when I look at next year's draft, too, it is so much better than this past year's draft of the quarterback options that are available. Here's my top 5 prospects for 2023. Bryce Young, the reigning Heisman Trophy winner from Alabama, is the first one that comes to mind. C.J. Stroud from Ohio State is the second quarterback. And then there's a bit of a drop-off. You go to Will Levis, number 3 at Kentucky. He's still got a lot to prove. Anthony Richardson, same thing at Florida. And then number 5, I have Spencer Rattler. And Rattler has shown some good signs at times, but last year really struggled when he was projected to be the number 1 overall pick. He's with a new team at South Carolina this year, so we'll see what he can do. But those top 2 guys, a big difference than the rest of the board. But if I'm the Seahawks, I would look at those 2. The others beyond that don't impress me nearly as much. Should Seattle draft a quarterback in 2023? Our pinned comment today, let me know. Type Y for yes, type in for no. If you think the Seahawks should draft a quarterback next year, let me know in the comment section. Y for yes, in for no. All right, next question. This one comes from Jack. We're doing the Papa Jones thing again. It won't go away, whatever reason. Anyways, hashtag Seahawks, hashtag Papa Jones. Do you think that Jordyn Brooks will be a good long-term replacement for Bobby Wagner? Will he have similar production? And lastly, do you think Cody Barton will play well at the starting position next to Brooks. Let's start with Jordyn Brooks replacing Bobby Wagner here. And for me, you ask about production. I mean, Jordyn Brooks was, second in the NFL last year in tackles, 184. Quite frankly, he was more productive than Bobby Wagner was last year. So as far as I'm concerned, I think that Jordyn Brooks is going to be great this year. There's no reason to think that he won't be, that he won't have a big year for this Seahawks team based on the outstanding year he had in 2021. He should be able to have an even bigger year this year. He's taken on a bigger role as the leader of this defense. He'll be calling the shots. More is going to be expected of him. Yeah, I think Jordyn Brooks is going to be just fine replacing Bobby Wagner in that role. Now, the second part of that question, as far as Cody Barton goes, that's where I have concerns, okay? Cody Barton's got a lot to prove. He is very raw, okay? And so I still need to see more from Cody Barton before I'm willing to go out there and point to him as a long-term solution. But nonetheless, he's got a huge opportunity in front of him. Let's see what he can make of it. But the jury's still out in Cody Barton at this point. Today's show presented by Manscaped. And Manscaped right now is offering the Boxer 2.0 collection. As you can see, some great boxer briefs. You don't need to be wearing no tighty-whities or anything like that. You need to get these boxer briefs from Manscaped. And we got a great deal that we're offering just for viewers of Seahawks Today. 20% off plus free shipping when you use the promo code Seahawks at checkout to get your boxer briefs now. That's Chat Sports is where we're offering this on manscaped.com. And 20% off plus free shipping with the promo code Seahawks. A great deal for Chat Sports viewers of Seahawks Today. Get yours now while supplies last. 20% off plus free shipping. Manscaped.com, promo code Seahawks. All right, next question comes from Trying to Judge Yo Engine by Yo Paint Job. Wants to know, do you think DK would be a good tight end? I think he has size and speed. He would be a nightmare matchup for defenses. I'm thinking of how Sean Payton used Jimmy Graham when on the Seahawks, so still a wide receiver too. Your thoughts? I mean, there's no reason to think why he wouldn't be a great tight end, but why? Why would you line him up as a tight end? To me, that's something that doesn't make any sense. Let DK continue to work on the outside and get downfield and do what he does best. To me, that would be a waste to throw him at tight end and make him block more. I mean, what good does that do anybody? I mean, throw him out there, do what he does best, and I think that he'll have a big year in 2022, and I think it's going to be the best season of his career. I mean, you got Noah Fant. So, and then Will Dissly as well. I mean, what good does that do if you put him at tight end? To me, that doesn't make any sense, but nonetheless, I mean, if he played there, sure. I mean, why would he not be great at that position as well? Will DK Metcalf have the best season of his career? I think so. What say you? If you agree with me, type T for true. If you do not agree with me and think that is a lie, then type F for false. Let me know in the comments section. T for true, F for false, if DK Metcalf will have the best season of his career. Now, we are counting down to training camp, just a few days away from training camp up in Renton, Washington. We'll be covering it here on Seahawks Day. We're going to be all over it, so you want to make sure that you are subscribed. That way you know the latest happenings with your Seattle Seahawks throughout training camp and counting you down to kick off the Week 1 opener against the Denver Broncos. We'll be all over it here on Seahawks Today. Subscribe now, youtube.com/Seahawks TV. Turn on those notifications as well so you never miss a moment. All right, got another question. Our last one in the inbox comes from Jeff. Jeff wants to know, I have seen a lot of videos on players the Seahawks should add. Well, where exactly is the Seahawks salary cap-wise? They have to extend DK. Will it be better to spread his signing bonus out or just use most of the cap money this year, which will free up money in the future? Let's go ahead and take a look at the training camp outlook for the Seahawks. The numbers, according to Sports Track right now, show that the Seahawks have around $16 million in cap space at the moment. So, with that said, your best option is to spread out that money for DK Metcalf. The salary cap is going to continue to go up. We got new TV contracts that are beginning here with the league partners, and so that is only going to draw up, make that money even go higher for that salary cap. It's going to go up exponentially over the next few years. So with that said, when it comes to paying DK Metcalf, yes, you need to get a deal done, but I would backload that thing because of how the salary cap structure works in the National Football League with the numbers we're expecting to see there. So with that, appreciate you joining us here on Seahawks Today. We are just about to go, but before we do, if you made it to the end of today's video, you're a real one. Type gang, represent yourselves, show out, and be proud of yourselves for joining us here on Seahawks Today. We thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time here on the channel.